Hello everyone, this is Sean, and this is model number 3, the restoration of my 2500 scale Enterprise D. The first picture showed it how it was, second picture showed it as restoration was complete. Now, as you can see from the beginning pictures, I did not decide on a silver anniversary coat right away. I started with a dark blue coat by hand, of course, because remember, I hadn't learned to spray paint yet. That didn't come along until model number 4. And of course, I used my vintage constructs to create a kind of cradle for the model so that it would stay upright at the proper angle while I was painting it. And that's, of course, that's the kitchen table. And that's Grandpa's cedar chest that the model's sitting on as it's as the paint is drying. And of course, that's probably the exact same laptop I have right now, or at least a model that's very similar. And of course, what I tried to do at first is paint around the existing decals, which were really only the registry decals and the transporter emitters on the bottom hull. And this was the first time I'd painted the model. It had been completely unpainted, and so you started applying the silver anniversary, and of course it's a warmer color in the dining room against the cedar chest than it is in the kitchen when it's more like a cool silver against the laptop. And you can see it there. Now that kitchen table, you can see that I think you can see that its central insert is in place. So my model building journey started on that table, all the way up to model number 8, which was USS Voyager. And of course, you can see the silver there. Now, don't worry, the silver paint got a bit better applied, and that's kind of like the Generations pose where it's peeling away from the supernova. And as you can see, I started trying to paint the red stripe and the decals by hand on the top of the ship before I got the idea to start, giving it new decals and applying them. So of course I got a lot of beauty shots of the ship in progress. I mean, I had no idea. Well, I did. That's when I used the music, but then I realized, oh, the music is copyrighted, so I'm re-recording this video from January through March of 2018, narrating it with my own voice instead. And these are all the pictures I took as I built the model so that you don't run into any copyright issues, because I'm only 6 subscribers away from 700 on my model building channel. And when I get to 1,000, and hopefully have 4,000 hours of watch time, I don't want anything to interfere with being able to monetize my channel. So I'm slowly re-recording everything that was monetized. And as you see, I took away the red stripe down the center because I'm saving the pristine undecaled hull for the new decals, which I ordered from Federation Models. And of course, you get beauty shots of the ship while it's, its paint is drying. And of course, didn't have a stand for it yet because I had not yet received the 1000 scale TOS Enterprise. It came with an extra stand as opposed to just the Polar Lights one. So I was using my vintage constructs from my childhood as a kind of starship brace. There's a good shot from the starboard side. Here's another shot from the port side. And that's, of course, taken in the dining room, sitting on Grandpa's cedar chest. It was completely empty both inside and on top, so it was the perfect place to display the ships. Now you see the starboard nacelle is kind of canting inward. At some point over the 20 years before I started repairing it, its nacelle had broken off, and I got a local hobby shop in town to fix it. And they did the best job they could. Yeah, okay, so the ship is silver. It's waiting for its new decals. The impulse engine must have a decal on it because it's no longer bright red, it's black. So there must be a point coming up where I start applying those, because that's kind of strange. Sitting on the paper towel. I tried to smooth out the paint too, and, you know, paint the clear parts. Oh, don't worry, that was the computer. Oh, that's a dining room table. There's a cedar chest from Grandpa again in the constructs thing. So there it is from the back. Oh, okay, I started painting the impulse engines on the side of the saucer red. Now that decal looks very clear. I don't know if that's the original one or not. That's strange. Oh, okay, I think I'm beginning to apply new decals on the bottom now. I can see some of those details. Oh, and that is the phaser decal. You can tell because now the phaser ring is darker. Those transporter emitters are new because they're darker as well. And I think all the small phasers had decals too. A 2500 scale decal set from Federation Models. That's where the decals came from. The same place where I got the new Enterprise E decals for the 1400 scale and the new TOS Enterprise decals. Now you can see the star drive filling in with the windows. They're all black, of course, but there they are. Here's a close-up view of the starboard side of the secondary hull with the new pinstripes on the top of the nacelles. There's the port side view showing the same thing. Try saying that even once. Ah, there you go. I alternated the decals on the saucer section so I wouldn't get them wet or mess up one, but you can see one on the front near the center line that did get messed up. So I just turned it over and started focusing on the bottom side. Don't worry, I found a way to correct those decals that got messed up with the windows. Since this model was not in pristine condition anyway, I didn't try to pass it off as a fresh from the shipyard's Enterprise D. This is probably more like an Enterprise D that survived a big battle, hence why its starboard nacelle is a bit crooked and it has some decals. They started silvering on me. So you'll see that coming up. I tried to use the finest black tip Sharpie I had to correct them. You'll see that in a few pictures, but in the meantime, here it is in its quote-unquote constructs cradle, as I came to call it. And there it is from the port side, angled a bit so you can see the top of the decals on the saucer, and there it is for a nice side view, so that looks pretty good. You realize the big bridge dome hardly juts out at all. There you see, I used fine tip black marker, but it still wasn't perfect. And you can see some of the decals silvering. There, the stand from the TOS Enterprise 1000 scale, the extra stand, used for the Enterprise D, because its old stand broke off. This Enterprise D originally came from the old 2500 scale 3 Enterprise set. Somehow the other two Enterprises went missing, and the Enterprise D is all I had left. I think that might be a good thumbnail. Maybe the one of it on its side. Oh, it's almost like the same picture. Yeah, I'm going to have to pick up a good thumbnail. Now, you see the silvering decals, and you see the windows that are obviously filled in. So what I did is I took damaged decals and I used them to cover up everything that was silvering and everything that had been messed up, so it looked like a battle-damaged version of the ship. And here it is, well, there it is next to its 1400 scale, bigger Enterprise D cousin. That's from 2020, I think, and I damaged the port nacelle to make it look like it had been attacked by the Duras sisters, and then the nacelle fell off again. So that's the Enterprise D restoration video, model number 3. Hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on Friday.